How we doing, everybody? So I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you guys. I kind of suck at taking negative feedback and comments and dealing with it in a healthy way. Sometimes I let negative or mean YouTube comments linger in my mind for way longer than I should be. And then there are also times where negative criticism from a client just kind of eats away at me for much longer than it should. Instead of just looking at my face for multiple minutes, you're gonna see 4 other guys, and I'm very excited to have these dudes on the channel. We have 2 content creators / YouTube guys, Dunna Did It and Dave Mays. We have a wedding filmmaker who has shot over 200 weddings. He's shot in Ireland. He has a wedding film on Martha Stewart's website. He's the real deal. He's super talented and humble, and he's gonna share some stuff with us. Then we have Kevin Johnson, who is a director, DP, beautiful man. I'm just excited to learn some stuff from these guys, and hopefully you guys can get some awesome information from them too. And then at the end of the video, I'm gonna give a couple tips because mine are least important. Honestly though, it's pretty true. So here's the list of the beautiful boys and the timestamps at which they will be speaking. So you can jump around if you want to, but honestly, I recommend just watching through the whole thing, not just for watch time for my video, but just to get as much knowledge as you can from these awesome dudes and what they've learned. Thank you to Dunna Did It, Dave Mays, Justin Pei, and Kevin Johnson for being in the video. Let's get on with it.
What's up, people? My name is Dunna from the channel Dunna Did It. Generally, on my channel, we nerd out about camera stuff. We talk about photography and videography, but today I have a little bit of advice for you on how to deal with people on the internet who just don't seem like they're trying to be too nice. If you're posting stuff online, it's pretty much inevitable at some point you're going to get some negative comments. You're gonna get some feedback that you don't wanna hear, those kinds of things, and it is hard to deal with. But if I had to give you one piece of advice to try and keep your sanity and to try and deal with it in a nice, healthy way, it would be to first try to assume that they're trying to be helpful. Now, sometimes this is harder than others, and sometimes it's very obvious that they're not actually trying to be helpful. But if you can kind of look at their comment with that kind of filter on it to start with, at least that way you can kind of get in the mindset of positivity right off the bat, and that can be really helpful. If somebody has a negative comment about your video or your photo or whatever it happens to be, and instead of thinking, ah man, Steve really wants to piss me off today, you think, Steve seems to be trying to give me some feedback so that I can improve things. Maybe Steve is way wrong and way off point, but at least if you come at it at that way, you can start a conversation. And I've had this many times in the comment sections of my videos where I end up chatting with people and maybe we disagree in the end, but at least it's a civil conversation. And most importantly, I'm not losing my mind stressing out over negative comments. Hopefully that's helpful for you. Peace.
Hi, my name is Justin Pei. I am the owner of Justin Pei Productions. I mainly specialize in wedding filmmaking. I've been able to film over 200 weddings, which is a lot. There's one of 2 things that criticism can do. It can allow us to be better filmmakers. The second thing is it can teach us how ridiculous some people can be. I booked my first international wedding in Ireland in 2015, and I was super excited about it. Spent a lot of front-end work trying to research, make sure everything was perfect. I spent hours and hours of editing, more than I would any other wedding, just to make sure that it was like the perfect film. A couple days later, I get an email back from the bride. She just gave me a laundry list of things that she just wanted revised, edited, changed, and there was no, nothing good that came out of the email. It was all just criticism, and I was just completely deflated and just angry. After I sat on it for a couple days is when I realized, after reading over everything that she said, that I was making this film more for me than I was the client. Ultimately, what her email did for me is it allowed me to be a better filmmaker, because I realized that I need to make films for the client. But then I also realized, in her laundry list of things, she said that she didn't like the shots of her crow's feet that were in her eyes, and I was just like, there's nothing I can do about that. So it was just completely ridiculous, and sometimes we'll get those comments. So accept the criticism, grow from it, and then move on.
Check. Hey, check 1. Hey guys, what's cooking? Dave Mays here from the YouTube channel Kinotika. And this one time I posted a video on my channel, I reviewed gear, and I made a little mistake I was reviewing the Osmo Action camera, and I forgot to turn the stabilization on the camera, which is one of the key selling features of the camera itself. I was rushing around trying to get this video done because I had it a little bit earlier than most people, and I went ahead and uploaded it. A couple hours later, I got like a ton of downvotes, and almost every comment was super negative. Some of them were saying really hateful things. The dog was barking, and I took my dog and I put her in the trash. And then I just walked away and I went into the bed without even really thinking about it. It was just kind of this weird, like, depression, sleep deprived thing. It was at that moment where I realized that I need to just stop looking at these comments. I need to stop letting these things affect me and stop letting it be something that you take personally. No matter what we do, people are going to not like us. You just have to realize that if you're putting yourself out there on YouTube, you're risking the fact that you're going to get some negative comments, some negative feedback. So if it happens, don't be alarmed. This is normal. What I tend to do is I see a negative comment and I block them from the channel and I delete the comment. I'll actually respond to somebody who says something really hurtful or mean, and sometimes they're like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't, you know, I was just kind of joking, I didn't mean it, I'm a big fan, or whatever. If you're actually kind to other people who are mean to you, they often are diffused and will maybe apologize. It comes with the fact that if you're putting yourself out there on YouTube, you're gonna get some hate. So anyways, yeah, that's about it. Thanks, Zach, for having me on.
Man, this sucks. This really sucks, being in front of the camera.
Yeah, I miss you, Zach.
Miss you, Uncle Zach.
When I get negative feedback, I drink a lot. Hey, my name is Kevin Johnson. I run a small production company called Hometown Crew, where we specialize in music videos and internal communication videos in the corporate industrial sector. I think it's really important to look at negative feedback, understand or try and understand the intent behind the feedback. And it's either something that's productive or counterproductive. It's really that simple. It's really difficult to take yourself out of the picture when you receive feedback. You're putting a little piece of yourself out there when you create a film or you're telling a story. So when people come to you with suggestions on how to change that, you need to compartmentalize it and say, can this feedback potentially make it better? Or is it just dissatisfaction from the client or an audience? The films that we put out there reflect a little piece of ourselves. And so when someone attacks that, it's not easy. But if the intent behind the criticism is constructive, I'd argue that that's actually positive because we're working towards a positive result. Is that enough? My dad's 50mm Minolta 1.7 from the early 70s. Look at that. Look at that flareage.
Thank you to the beautiful boys in this video. When I see a comment on one of my YouTube videos that's really mean or aggressive, vulgar, I try very hard to not respond to those people. I don't want to give them any sort of power, and a lot of times that's what they want. They go over the top with anger or rude things just to get a response. So I delete that kind of a comment and I block them from being able to see my channel. The reason I block them is not to be a jerk back to them, but because I'm trying to create an environment here on YouTube that's fun, optimistic, goofy, entertaining, and educational all at the same time, and there's no room for people that are gonna act like that. And if I were to respond in a mean way back to them, my subscribers might see me being a jerk to these people, and they might lose respect for me, and I don't want that either. I'm trying to be a good person and make fun things for cool people. That's it. Another thing that I do once in a while is I'll delete the YouTube app from my phone. If I see a bunch of comments that are just getting in my head or I'm obsessing over analytics or something like that, I just delete the app from my phone and just forget about it for a little while, go do something else. And lastly, if I'm stressed out about negative criticism, whether from a client or from a comment on a YouTube video, anything really, I just go outside, go on a walk, get some fresh air, and that can drastically change your mindset and just kind of reset your brain a little bit. And that's it for my tips. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, Dunna Did It, Dave Mays, Kevin Johnson, Justin Pei. All of you are awesome. I look up to all you dudes. Thanks for being a part of this little community on the internet. Bye. There are two things that support me in life right now. One is stimulus checks. Two is my patrons, and a check hasn't come in yet, so I need ya. Shout out to all the beautiful people on the screen right now. Thank you, patrons. Love you so much. If you'd like to become a patron, just click on the little orange icon. Shout out to 2 of my top tier patrons, Elisha Ruman and Michael Weeble. Love you both, you beautiful, beautiful boys. Thanks for your support. See you in the next one.
Kitty! Kitty, say hi! Good boy.